Got a pretty full house, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you to everyone for joining us to hear information about the upcoming comprehensive renovation of Howard Middle School. It's set to be complete in late 2024. A few housekeeping notes about how this meeting will work. Attendees are automatically muted with cameras off. Please use the Q&A tool to ask questions. You can ask questions at any time during the meeting. But we may not get to address the question until the Q&A portion at the end, so do try to hang on. The chat is available as a backup, but I won't be checking that as often. This meeting is being recorded, and it will be posted to YouTube and shared out to anybody who registered for this meeting. Okay, Byron, if you could advance it one more for me. Okay, let me see if board member Castor Dental has gotten on yet. And if she hasn't, I'll do introductions and then we can come back. Okay, I'm not seeing her, so let's slide ahead one. I'll do introductions and then we'll just, she can just speak whenever she hops on. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. Today we are going to hear about the early plans for the design of the school. We have a wide variety of panelists available to answer questions today. If you do have any technical issues with your WebEx connection, oh, and I just heard from board member Castor Dental that she's having technical difficulties, so I'll see if I can help her in a few minutes. So if you have any WebEx problems, just like the board member, you can reach their support team at 1-866-229-3239, extension 2, and then extension 1. Okay. All right. So I did want to thank the Howard team for virtually hosting us. So thank you to Principal Archie. I saw AP Walker on. I know there are teachers and staff joining us tonight, so thank you very much. We are also joined by Area Superintendent John Wright. You can see him up there above. The architect for this project is Rhodes and Brito. And representing Rhodes and Brito, we have Byron Lestraps, and off screen, but also there is Angeli Tiburcio and Chris Kowalski. And I think Erica might have come on too, Erica Gagne. The construction manager for this project is going to be Lego. And I believe Edgar Martinez and Mahesh San Kurasetti might have hopped on the call or might be hopping on the call tonight. We do have a civil engineer on this project, and that's Aldo Mejias, and he is with Avcon. Excuse me for just a moment. Sorry, guys, just trying to fix the technical difficulties. So on the facility side of the house, the project manager for this team is, for this project rather, is Jill Edwards. And she's an important name to know because what she does is she ties together the architect, the construction manager, and OCPS to make sure that things are built to the standard that is drawn and what OCPS requires. From our planning, design, and construction team, we have Mo Arthur, who's the design manager, and the director of construction planning, Jessma Lambert. And I'm the senior manager for facilities communications. And from the city of Orlando, I think we're expecting Denise Riccio from Families, Parks, and Recreation. So Byron, I'm going to hand things over to you, but I'm just going to interrupt when the board member is able to hop on, and we'll let her say hello. Oh, Byron, you're muted. Hang on. Let's get you unmuted. Okay, I got you unmuted, but if you could hop on back.
Okay, am I here?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody. It's a great pleasure of being here. Again, my name is Byron Lestraps. I'm a principal architect with the firm Rhodes and Brito Architects. And I just want to say we're very happy and excited to be part of this project. And what I'm going to do is give you an overview and kind of a little historical journey through this project. I'm going to start with the vicinity map here. You can see the school is located in this area right here. Hold on a second. It is located in this area right here. And also there's other landmarks downtown. So we're smack downtown. And one of the things, you have Lake Yeller, who's a center point and focal point of downtown Orlando. And then the other thing is a very important address, which is 605 East Robinson Street. Reason why that's important is that's my office, and that's where I'm broadcasting from right now in this building, the day building. So I can literally almost see the rooftop of Howard Middle School. So it shows you our commitment that we have to get this job right. We're about 400 steps away from it. So I pass in front of this school every day because I live a half mile down the street also. So I'm a member of Thornton Park and lived in this area for over 30 years. So this is a very important project, and we definitely are going to put our heart and soul in this project. Just to move on to share some things with you, we have Robinson Street. It's going to undergo some improvements in the near future. These improvements are going to make this more of a user-friendly environment. They're going to be reducing the lanes on Robinson Street, and it's going to be more pedestrian and cycle friendly with bike paths and all of that. This is some work that's upcoming. This is done by the state of Florida, the Department of Transportation, and this is going to be starting about 2025 when we should be concluding a lot of our construction. Now, I just want to share a little history with you. Howard Reynolds, he was a famous architect a century ago. He has blessed Central Florida with a lot of great buildings, and here are some buildings you probably are aware of, from Winter Park Ninth Grade Center to Mark Street Senior Center and Howard Middle School. And we had the opportunity to work on two other projects with him in Renovate. We worked on Mark Street School, and about 10 to 12 years ago, we renovated Princeton Elementary, which was another one of his schools. So, you know, this is going to be our third project that we've gotten the chance to work on at Howard Reynolds building. A little history, historical timeline of Howard Middle School. 1927, it first opened its doors as Orlando High School. And from that, there were some improvements. The gymnasium was added in the 30s, and the cafeteria building, and the band room was added in the 1940s. And in 1954, when Boone and Edgewater was opened, Howard Middle School became Howard Junior Middle School.
And Byron, if you could hold at becoming the middle school, let's hold that thought there. I think I'm going to be able to unmute board member Castor-Dental. Dr. Castor-Dental, can you try to speak?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, it worked. Yay. Okay, technology problems, but so we just kind of did the very beginning of the presentation, but if you'd like to say hello to the group, we've got about 60 people on.
Oh, great. I apologize. You think after so many years you'd figure this out, but it just didn't connect. So I'm sorry for being late, but welcome to this preliminary meeting for Howard Middle. I know that we have people from around the county and from around the neighborhood as well, because this building is so iconic. And as you're mentioning, the history of the building is significant. So I'm excited to hear what the initial plans are for making sure that we have students who can really take advantage of this wonderful school for years to come, while also making sure that our students now have a robust education. So thank you for letting me say hello to everybody, but go ahead and finish your presentation. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Castor-Dental. Okay, Byron, you were just getting to the junior high part.
Yeah, now I know how it feels when you're watching CNN or Fox and somebody interrupts, and now. Very good.
And you've got a very cute cat over by Dr. Wright.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright being very cute and distracting everybody. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Byron.
Okay, great. Well, again, we were talking about Howard Middle School becoming a middle school or junior high in the 1950s. And if you can see that same practice is happening today with relief schools that are happening all the time. So that was happening in the 50s. Other improvements with the media center happened in the 80s. And in 2000 was the most significant improvements that they had. They completely renovated the building. I think this was like the first ongoing total comprehensive renovation of this project. And from that, we had an addition. They built an addition of the area that's between the main historical building and the dining area. There's a 2-story building where the science classrooms are, that little center wing, that was built in 2000. So that was the new portion of it. And then in 2012, it was designated as Performing and Visual Arts Magnet School. So that's kind of a rough history within the last 100 or 95 years of Howard Middle School. So now I'm going to talk to you about our project approach and basically our project goals. And I'm going to really say it's simple that we broke it down to two things. Goal number one is, this was a comprehensive job. So what's important for us to do is to treat this existing buildings as if we were building a brand new school. So what we want to do is take the existing spaces and try to bring it up to where as if we were building a brand new school. In other words, we want to bring the latest technology into the classrooms. We want to redo all the finishes, the lighting, the LED lighting, air conditioning, all of these things, electrical power requirements, all of these things, we're going to bring it up as if this was being put in a brand new prototypical middle school for Orange County Public Schools. So that's the main thing, the first thing. The second thing is the programming of this school. And I'm pretty sure, and this is my theory, is that when this school was converted from a magnet school into it was converted to a magnet, performing arts magnet. It was just a regular high school or middle school. So I'm pretty sure the staff said, wow, we're going to make do with what we have. And we're going to grab this space to help support the theater. We're going to use this room to add guitar and orchestra. And we're going to make this classroom a dance studio. And yeah, it worked. Because, the school, with credit to them, did what it took to make this spaces work. But what we're trying to do when I'm talking about the programming is we want to go and redefine some of these spaces, redesign, move spaces, and manipulate these spaces so that they are designed properly to support the functions they need to. An example would be spaces around the theater that supports the theater program or the drama program. Building a dance studio that really is a dance studio, and a music chamber or orchestra room that is really designed for music. So those are the kind of program improvements that we're going to be doing in this school. So one of the things is we have some challenges with this project. We're on an 8.5 acre site. If this was a brand new school, it would be 25 acres. We would need our 30 acres. We use a track as our apparent loading area instead of a nice queued area with a covered pickup. So those are kind of deficiencies that we have in this project. So, we're looking at everything on this project. Other things we're going to look at is our programming and how can we improve certain areas. One of the things I'm going to start with is our administration. We have both general administration and we have what we call grade level administration located in the corners of the building. We're going to look at what are their needs, what are their spaces, and we're going to try to just make this a lot more efficient and make it more effective. Here at the general administration, we're going to look at how we can improve this area. And one of the things we're going to be doing is looking at the lobby and the reception area and to really improve the image and the first impression of when you get into this school. I know when I first walked in this school, you would never know it's a performing arts center, performing arts school, because, it was. So what we're trying to do is transform that. When you walk in, you want to see the history of this school. You want to feel that we are in a performing arts school. So we're going to try to bring that into the lobby and to the corridors and to the spaces to give it that energy, that spirit that Howard Middle School does have. So that's going to be some of our things that we're going to do. The media center, we're going to improve the media center. That's going to be expanding the CCTV, improving the technology, the furnishings in this area to just make it more of a livelier spaces. We're going to have some digital media labs in there, digital arts, which is part of their programs here, which would be something that we're going to display in the media center. Here's examples of the existing media center and how, things that we're trying to improve, from the lighting to, again, the furnishings and everything here. The kitchen and dining. One of the things in dining is we're going to redo the dining room. We're going to have new furniture, dining furniture there. Also lighting, ceilings, floor, the whole image of the dining room. And also the main thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of reconfigure the serving lines that are there. Serving lines, we're going to do that to increase the dining room efficiency and to meet some of the current OCPS standards. I think currently you have 2 serving lines. Now we're going to improve it to, I want to say 5 is where we're at, 4 to 5. Yeah. So that's going to be improved and it's going to help our efficiencies. And this is our existing conditions right now. The auditorium, this is going to be a big thing. I mean, this could be a project within itself. One of the things we're doing here is that our auditorium, we're going to look at enhancing a lot of the lighting, a lot of the ADA, and also really even looking at the seating to see if we need to replace the seating or not replace the seating. You know, a lot of the seats are broken and they're small, and we're looking into doing things like that and improving the sight lines within the auditorium. But the main thing is that we're going to look at the spaces surrounding the auditorium. You know, right now there aren't proper dressing rooms for actors into this stage area, so we're going to provide dressing rooms in this area. We have a drama classroom. We have a theatrical arts or the theater technology classroom here, where we build the props and all the flats that are used for performances. We're going to have storage behind the stage that is going to be convenient to the stage so that we can bring instruments or Marley, or whether it's chairs and things like that, could be easy access to the stage. And also we're looking at building a black box theater to also support the drama program. So there's a lot of things that are coming in. Our classrooms, again, we're going to take all our classrooms and bring them up to our prototypical standards, including technology, furnishings, lighting, and finishes within all classrooms. The other thing is the courtyard. The courtyard is a very important social hub into the school. Again, I live in a neighborhood, so I know at 9:20, 9:25, this courtyard is full of kids waiting to be let into the school. So I see all the activities and running around in the different areas and activities in this courtyard. So this becomes a multifaceted room. And we're going to try to maintain those things, where we're going to have areas for athletics, areas for socialization. We're also proposing an outdoor performance area, outdoor dining area, if that's appropriate, and also a covered area to, you know, have a little shade relief and rain relief, weather relief from here. So this is something that we are currently working on, and this is a very important part of this project. And finally is our site. Again, we're looking at the site, we're looking at the parent pickup. This is a very difficult thing since we don't have the space, we don't have the real estate. We looked at providing more parking. There's just no place to do it. But, you know, I think the staff, the community, the parents, I think we've all made do with what we have. And all we can try to do is improve and make safer what is existing right now. So we are providing additional stairs or improved stair and handicap ramp to provide better access into this area. And we're doing some in all paving improvements around the campus, and some looking at rehabilitating and helping out some of these retaining walls that we have around the campus. So now that is kind of what we're doing on this project. So our next chapter, we're going to talk to you about is sustainability. We're going to bring a lot of the systems into this building up to date and to meet modern standards and modern codes. What that means is our energy use is something that we're going to be monitoring, and we're going to be very conscious of. We're going to provide high efficiency chillers. We're going to have roof replace. We're going to replace the roof and have a light color roof to help lower our solar gain, our heat gain. A lot of our equipment is going to be Energy Star rated, and we're going to have water saving fixtures and toilets and things like that to help save a lot of our water and natural resources. So this is something to improve the efficiency of our building and on all of our systems that we're going to improve. Now I'd like to conclude with our design and construction schedule. As you can see, we are right here on May 4th. And what we're going to be doing is completing our design. And our design basically is going to start being completed around November. And this is when we're going to go into bidding and permitting. Design will happen because bidding and permitting will generate in some comments and some revisions of our documents. But basically, it is our intention by March of next year that we will be able to start construction. And construction will start on March of 2023, and it will go on to complete about the late fall of 20 to 24. Two things you need to understand: this construction process will be in phases. So we will take portions of this building and do certain areas of it. Now, the reasoning is the building will be occupied. So we can't shut the building down like we did in the year 2000, where everybody moved across the street. We're going to have portables set up in the courtyard, and there's going to be classes that are at certain times are going to be relocated into those portables. So that's why it's going to be done in phases, and that's why we're going to have a duration of about 18 to 20 months during the construction process. So with that, I'm finished my presentation, and if anybody would have any questions, we're here to answer them. So
Okay, thanks, Byron. So if you could just slide ahead one slide, for those of you who might have hopped on a little bit later, this is how you can ask questions. If you can't, for some reason, find the Q&A tool, you can drop questions into the chat. I'm just not checking that quite as often. So I did want to clarify one thing, that our Orange CTA elect and art teacher at Howard, Clinton McCracken, pointed out it's a visual and performing arts academy, and that's absolutely, of course, the case. Just want to make sure that, you know, we're clear on that language. And we have another question. Are there going to be any changes to the in and out entrances on Robinson and Jefferson? Byron, can you hop back to the site plan so we can refer to that, those not intersections, but the entrances on Robinson and Jefferson?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Like slide 10 should do it.
Yes. What was the question?
So the question was the entrances on the back on Jefferson and the main entrance on the front. Are there going to be any changes to those?
No, in terms of relocation or anything like that, no. There are going to be some enhancements up here in terms of a handicap ramp, but other than that, these entrances, everything is going to the same connection nodes to the street will remain the same.
Okay, and if for Ms. Reyes, if that does not answer, if I didn't clearly explain your question, please send me a message and I'll clarify. Okay, so we have a question from Mr. Roberts asking about the phases, and I will put this back out to the team, but I'm pretty sure we don't have a ton of detail on that yet because we're really at the beginning of the design phase. But am I correct on that, Byron, that it'd be a little early for that, or do we have some sort of an idea on that?
We have not completed our phasing. Phasing is a very important part of this project right now. We are working heavily on it, but right now we don't have anything that we are ready to present because we are still evaluating all the different aspects of it.
Okay, and so would the same go for a question about, do we know what phase is going to be first, or is that still all being figured out?
That's all still being figured out.
Yeah, and just to clarify to folks, the reason we came out to have this meeting at this point is because we don't want to come out right before construction starts and have everything completely, you know, written in pen. We want to come out to the community while the design is still occurring, so that we can get feedback, which does mean that we have less information on the construction phase. We will be coming out and doing another meeting like this before construction starts, and there'll be a lot more detail about phasing then. We just included that information because I knew people were going to want to know that.
Lauren, I would like to share in terms of.
Hang on, I think Mr. Wright's trying to say something.
If I could share just on phasing, I want to just thank Byron and the entire OCPS facility and construction group, because initially there was talk about putting portables across the street, you know, because that would make it go quicker. But to me, that's not a safe option. And I do believe, you know, having the small group of portables on the Howard current side of Robinson, you know, that may slow down the phasing a bit and end up costing more, but it's really going to be a much safer solution. And so I just really appreciate that alternative.
Okay, awesome. Now, Byron, what were you going to say?
No, I just wanted to say one of the key issues on phasing is that what's important by it is that we have specialized classes here, you know, such as dance, such as music. And a lot of those things, we're trying to renovate those in the summertime. So we are not interfering with students who are going there for the music. and, you know, for dance and theater. So we don't want them to lose a school year because you know, they're in a portable or not. So we're trying to avoid.
Visual arts, Byron, and visual arts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay. I also wanted to recognize Yamanel Reyes, who is here with the City Transportation Department, and Christopher Mills, who's here with OCPS Facilities Planning. Yamanel, I believe you should be able to unmute now. Did you want to, you had a comment, did you want to share that? Hang on, you are muted. Okay, I'm trying to unmute you. I think you should be able to speak now.
Hi, this is Samuel from City of Orlando Transportation Engineering. So, any proposals for Robinson, either using Robinson for the portables or whatever it is that you're proposing, FDOT will need to be included in the conversation because Robinson is a state road.
Robinson is what?
It's a state road.
Yes, yes, I don't think you mean in terms of bringing the portables down Robinson to place them?
Whatever
Yes.
it is that you will be doing on Robinson, FDOT will need to be included in the conversation.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, and Jill Edwards is definitely working on all of those sorts of things because there are so many parties that are involved with, you know, this project being exactly where it is. Okay, there was a question about whether the bathrooms will be updated, fixtures, and everything. What can we say about the bathrooms at this point?
Yes. Yes.
Just yes. Okay.
That I can tell you, and we're designing those and drawing them right now today.
Very cool. Okay. And the comment was specifically along the lines of fixtures, color, design, in addition to, you know, the sustainability elements. But will they look more updated, I guess, is part of the question.
Yes, they're going to be modern, ceramic tile, low flow fixtures, preferably white, or, you know, we can go to avocado since this is a historical building. No, just kidding.
No avocado, Byron. It's 100 years old.
You know, they will be white, you know, new toilet partitions, so everything. And, you know, new flooring, everything, tile. So
Okay.
we're complete renovation.
Okay. Question, how much shaded outdoor cafeteria seating do we plan to have? Do we know that yet?
I don't know that yet. There's a lot of factors involved in that. One is, you know, I don't want to build, since this is in a courtyard, we want to be sensitive how we do it. Even though that center portion of the building is not historical, but yet we don't want to build a huge pavilion like in that courtyard. So, I mean, we're looking at something that's big, but, you know, 10, 15, 20 feet wide, or not even, you know, under 20 feet wide. And it could be 80, 100, you know, 80 feet wide. So we're not looking at to build something small, but I don't want something that's going to overpower the elevation from the street. So this is a sensitive design and to respect the historical nature of the school.
And Byron, can we bring back some details on that for the 100%? We'll know by then, right?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. So we'll bring that back at the 100. So
Yes.
the next meeting, we call it 100% design / construction kickoff. So if you, you know, receive notice about this meeting, or you're, you know, here today, or even folks who are watching this later, you will get notified about the next meeting. Oh yes, let me mention that. This meeting is being recorded, and it'll be posted on YouTube. And after the meeting, so probably tomorrow, I'll be sending out a link to anyone who registered, whether you came or not, to the video for this and the slideshow. Okay, so that the slideshow is actually already up. If you go to Board Member Castro-Dental's page or facilities.ocps.net, these slides are already there for you. Okay, next question. Will the gym be renovated as well?
Yes. There are some minor renovations there. I will say that there's some things, the most significant thing will probably happen will be, we are going to improve the bleacher situation in there. And there's a set of fixed bleachers and there's a set of retractable bleachers. we're looking at replacing the retractable bleachers and sanding down and modifying the existing fixed bleachers there and making those look a little bit modern. There are locker rooms in there. We have some security issues that we need to look at addressing. And again, we're going to renovate some, at least minimal change to fixtures in those locker rooms that are underneath the bleachers. But yeah, and this gym floor will be sanded and improved. We will put in new scoreboards in there. And, you know, just,
Lighting? Are we changing the lighting out to
Yes.
LED?
yeah, I would assume, yes.
Because that's our new standard. Okay.
Yeah.
And so for anyone who's asked questions, I'm just taking them in order. So, you guys are asking great questions. They keep coming. So that's great. Okay. Question about the Performing Arts Center, the auditorium. Rumor was that it would begin renovation after the fall musical. So am I hearing correctly that the kids may have access to it in the spring also? Do we have any idea at this point?
The answer is no, and that's probably something I can't answer if that was the case. You know, that's something I think OCPS could answer that much better. We're trying to avoid that from our phasing. You know, like again, we would like to renovate the auditorium in the summertime if we could, or do it outside of any known scheduled performances.
Okay. And Mo, is there anything that you'd like to add on that?
Yeah, Lauren, the Performing Arts Center is one of those, it's probably one of the most challenging parts of our phasing. So as we work through phasing, we definitely have to consider that. We don't have the final plan for it or the schedule for the phasing of the auditorium yet. So
Okay.
we'll bring that back.
Yeah, we're certainly aware of the issue. It's just really tough to schedule. So,
Yeah, and what would be nice for us is to understand their schedule too. So to know that those are critical dates and, you know, how much time is needed before and after these performances.
okay. All right. Question about, okay. I think this is more of an operational question. Yeah, I think it's going to be an operational question. So I know Principal Archie is on, AP Walker's on, and we've got Mr. Wright from the learning community. So I'm going to read this, and if one of you could maybe tackle it. Since we are losing lanes on Robinson due to the state's plan to make it more pedestrian friendly, what plans are being considered for drop off and dismissal? It's very busy with 2 lanes each direction instead of going down to 1 lane in each direction. Has the school looked at that yet? I know that might be a little too soon, but is there anyone with the school or Mr. Wright, do you happen to know? Anybody?
Actually, it's the first I'm hearing about it. So as
This
far
is
as
the
the
ro-
lanes and the, you
It's
know.
the road diet thing. Yeah.
Right. So it is currently, and you know, what makes it even a compounding challenge is the fact that this is a zoneless magnet school. So pretty much everybody, you know, comes in cars. And so, you know, and then we will also have to be mindful of the fact that the current track is going to be used for, it sounds like, some staging and some equipment. So the administration, they will work together to come up with a, you know, and they'll work with the city of Orlando and they'll work with law enforcement. And then we have our OCPS police department along with our whole safety division. And they will all work together to come up with the safest plan possible to accommodate the needs.
And Christopher Mills from Facilities Planning is, I know, on the call. Christopher, is there anything you can tell us about that road work or how that affects us?
I don't have an update for that. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess that was another part of the question is, you know, how far does that road diet go down? Byron, didn't you have a little rendering on one of our slides? Can you
Yep.
hop to that one? I thought there was like a little rendering that showed.
Yep, it is right here.
7.
So this is the front of the school right here. And this is the current walk-off where the light is and the SRO officer is always conducting, and this is where everybody's leaving. So yeah, I think the concern is and I've spoken to the engineer who's designing this, and I kind of shared my concern is that right now at about before this gate is open, sometimes you get parents who are showing up at 3:30, and this whole area is backed up, at least on the right lane. Okay, and if it's not a problem once the gate is open and it's all the cars are flushed inside, but having two lanes, I could see if there's any backup here of parents waiting to queue into the property, that would definitely be a problem because that would make Robinson Street come to a standstill.
Okay, hopefully we'll have more information, the next time we meet, but it's good that these things are coming up now. And Mr. McCracken is also asking, and this is oh, I see. Ms. Reyes looks like she answered it, so I'm just going to read the whole thing. He asked, can the city or state finally designate a school zone on Robinson at the same time? We've tried for many years unsuccessfully. And she responded, school dismissal should be addressed in the design stage. Please set up a meeting with the city. Okay, let me loop in Christopher Mills and Jill Edwards, who are on this call. Christopher is with facilities planning, and Jill is our project manager. So I think the two of them can follow up with the school and with the state and try to have that conversation. Is that fair, Chris?
Yes, absolutely. As well, we've been out there and observed the dismissal with OCPS safety. And so we've got a pretty good idea what's going on there. And then so absolutely we will meet with the city.
Okay, and hopefully we can get you an update on what results from that meeting or meetings at the next time we're together. Got a thumbs up. All right. How many visual arts classrooms with sinks are we planning for? Now this is 30% design. Do we have that yet?
What's visual arts?
Art.
Oh, there are classrooms. Well, we have 3 classrooms.
3 art classrooms, and do they all have sinks?
Yep. We have, yes, we have 3 art classrooms for the 3 modes of art. And I think one is the general art. The second is painting and graphics or 2-dimensional, and then there's ceramics and 3rd dimension. What's happening is the art room that is located in the basement is going to remain, and that's where the kiln is located. And then we're going to have an art room located on the 1st floor, and then there's going to be one located on the 2nd floor. And we'll have sink, plaster traps, or what is required for a prototypical art classroom.
Okay, excellent. So coming up to middle school standards.
Mhm.
Okay. A comment, I would suggest that upon the review of your planning phases, that all aspects of the school's mission are considered. The performances and shows are key to the programs. And absolutely. I mean, that's, a big reason that we are looking at the, the performing arts spaces and looking to add some outdoor space. And Byron, you were saying there's going to be a black box also?
Yes.
So yes, absolutely being considered. And that's, one of the reasons it's important not to rush the work that gets done in the auditorium so that it's done completely. It's just scheduling it becomes the challenge. Is there a plan to add lighting to the field?
No. There's, other than parking, lighting at the parking lot for security, no, we're not going to light the field.
Okay. Will there be teacher/staff bathrooms on all floors?
Yes, we have added some, and yes.
Okay. How will classroom design incorporate teachers' needs?
I can't give them a raise. But
Storage space, maybe?
well, yeah, each classroom has a workroom or kind of a storage room in it. And there's wall cabinets there. We are taking some of the millwork out. There's an old computer desk, a countertop where we had computers. We're going to remove that countertop there because, a lot of the new, computers now are laptops and it's all wireless inside the classroom. So there's no need to be tethered against the wall with the PC unit. So, but You know, I find for middle school, this campus has additional more storage space than the normal prototype school. So, you know, I think so far the stuff that's going to remain is going to be very adequate for the campus.
Okay, and let me just ask that questioner. It was Miss Alexander. I was just extrapolating what you meant from your question. So if you could just follow up and let me know if that's what you meant, or if, I don't know if you're talking about, other aspects of classroom design, if you could just specify. Oh,
Well,
Mr. Wright.
if it's technology, yes.
Hang on, Byron. Mr. Wright was trying to say something.
Byron, go ahead, and then I just want to go back to the lighting question on the track. But
Okay,
if-
so go ahead, Byron.
No.
on your
I
side.
mean, there's going to be technology. There's going to be new upgraded air conditioning finishes. All of these type of things are going to be happening in the classrooms.
Are we gonna have the what do you call it? Where the sound, comes out in the room like we do in our newer schools? Is that something?
The audio enhancement.
Audio
Thank you.
enhanced.
That's the words.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So yes, if that did not answer the question, please put a little more in. Another question about the adult bathrooms. We got that. Will we keep?
The track, Lauren, I just.
Oh, sorry.
So
Yes,
parking
the
is
lights.
for a lot of these events that happen, in the evening, the performances and stuff, that's where the parents park, and it's super, super dark when they have to go over there at like 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, the parents and the teachers to get into their vehicles. So I think the question is that,
Yes.
not like lighting for sports events in the evening, but will there be adequate lighting to light that up so it can serve as a nighttime parking space?
Are we looking at that? Mo?
Lauren, yeah, that's something like Byron said, the designated parking spaces, we definitely have to make sure those comply. As far as overflow parking, that's something we'll have to take a look at. It's not our standard to light overflow parking space, but it's something we'll have to take a look at.
Yeah, as as we've been talking about, this is such a unique site with so little parking. So, we should be able to answer that for the next meeting also. No, these are great questions. I'm so glad they're coming up now. Will we be keeping the 2 interior courtyards next to the media center?
Yes. And we're anticipating on improving the drainage, cleaning them up, and actually, one of our proposals is to help, we need to find better uses of that area to program it so that they're just not spaces that are outcast spaces. So one of the areas, we're trying to build it right next to the theater tech facility, classroom. And I know that they had talked about it, the need to go outside to do paints or other type of things that they don't want to do inside. So we would have access to that courtyard so they could help build some of the props outside if they need to be built on the exterior.
Well,
yeah.
I think that actually ties to the next part of the question, which is, will all art rooms have an exterior space for for students to?
No. And, the only other thing I could say is the one art room we relocated on the first floor. We put it in a very nice space with a lot of lighting, and it is located near the courtyard, and it has a door directly that we're adding another door that would provide some immediate access to the outside and to the courtyard. So yes, if you want to count that as an outdoor official art patio, yes, you would have those type of opportunities.
And Byron, is this because we're dealing with an 8.9 acre site? I mean, that's some of the challenge.
Well, it's that, and it's where the things are located. One is located in a basement, which, yes, you have a lawn right there, but you're out of a protected school, the boundaries of a protection of the fencing of the school. But yeah, I think I applaud staff and teachers to get creative and to help find these little niches and do what they can to, create these activities outside. But, there will be a good opportunity on the first floor, I believe, to integrate some of the art inside into the courtyard.
Okay. There's a question about the equipment staging. do we know where our staging area will be? There's a concern that it's going to be at Lake Eula Park, which I don't think it would be. Where do we know where we're staging?
What do you mean by equipment staging, I guess? You talking about?
Construction staging, I
Um,
think is the question.
I don't want to speak to, I don't know, maybe Lego could speak on this, but
Yeah.
some of it may happen on the track. Also, you have to think about the overflow of construction workers. But there's a vacant lot northwest of the site. And that is a vacant lot that has been used before by people working downtown. So that may be an area that the contractor can look at leasing and to at least make that for, worker parking to help alleviate the bottleneck that we would have with parents and construction workers there at the same time.
Okay, and I'm not seeing Edgar Mahesh on the call. Jill, I don't know if you happen to know.
Lauren, I'll take that. So
Thanks,
sometimes
Mo.
when we have difficult or tight sites, one of the things that our construction managers employ, sometimes they have to shuttle their workers in. We can't get everybody on our site, but it's something that we're working through with them right now. It's still early on in their construction logistics planning, but that's one method we've employed in the past where you have to shuttle the workers to the site, or at least a portion of them, because we just don't have the space for all the additional cars to show up on site.
Okay, makes sense. As part of the same question, there's a question about drainage. The question specifically just says, in addition, if the roads are being addressed, what about drainage when it rains? And I can't speak to the road project because the road project is not being done by OCPS. We just kind of mentioned it because it's going on. But we do have a civil engineer. Aldo be the one to take that question about drainage, or Mo, would that be you?
I can answer it.
Or Byron? Okay. Hey, go for it.
Well, Aldo, if he's there, you know,
Aldo, if you want to unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Well, we're still in discussion, just trying to determine the final scope on the drainage. But we'll be, improving the. Currently, there are some downspouts discharging to the surface on the courtyard area. So we'll be, capturing all the water and conveying it to the closest inlet and to try to eliminate that surface water in the courtyard areas.
Okay,
I don't know
thanks.
if you want to add to that, Byron.
well, no, I mean, we found some reasons why there are some drainage problems. One is they've never were connected and properly designed. And number two, the clogs and the deterioration of some drain pipes that are leading off the site that we were going to have to fix and replace. So we're going to improve the drainage flow throughout the site.
Awesome. Will there be any updates to the track and soccer field?
Yes. Well, right now, we're debating on whether we need to resurface the track and to evaluate that and to see how we are in budget. Also, we propose maybe doing some improvements to some of the elements there. I don't know if resodding is in the budget right now. That's something that we can consider. But we're kind of ironing all of that out as we speak now. But we are improving at least the parking area in that area.
Okay, and I just noticed a message I'd not seen a little bit earlier from AP Dr. Walker. He said that the school has discussed and is aware of the upcoming change to Robinson, and that they don't yet have an adjustment plan to adapt to the single lane. So yeah, that's something that we're gonna have to work through. Okay. Back to the questions. Will the windows be permanently closed or able to be opened?
I have no intention to close them. I don't think we can permanently close them from a state law or state code. we're permitted to required to have X amount of square footage of natural ventilation within a building.
Okay. Question, could a planning room be designed for staff?
We have proposed some planning rooms, yes.
Okay. There's a question about whether teachers will have a chance to comment on the design. So, I mean, there's obviously today, but were there also like focus groups with teachers? Like, how does that work?
I'm gonna let OCPS answer that one.
Sure. Mo, I think that would be you.
Lauren, we're going to start with the school administration, and then based on that, we'll see how much we need to break down beyond the school administration and what their requests are.
Okay. Yeah, and certainly we're here to listen today. So are we replacing the roof? And if so, what kind of roofing material?
We are replacing the roof. Yes, we are. And we are going back with a single ply roof membrane. Right now, I'm pretty sure it's a bituminous bituminous or asphalted base roof membrane up there. So we're going to tear that out and put a single ply roof. That's probably going to be a light gray or a white color. And that's what we talked about with the low reflectance or the low solar gain, and it has a better energy efficiency for the school.
And is that a different material than it was before, or is it?
Yes, yes. This is more of, I don't know, synthetic. You know, if you can imagine a really thick shower liner, you know, something like that. It's single ply roofing.
Okay.
See, I think it's a PVC. There's several types, but I'm assuming what's going to end up, it's going to be a PVC based roofing system.
Okay. And this is a question from Mr. McCracken. I'm going to read it, but I'm not sure I 100% follow what you're saying. So I'm going to unmute you after I read it. Okay. Hopefully that will work. So the question is, the number of visual arts classes meets our current number, but exterior space is critical. We need outdoors to spray fixative, which I assume is something you make with art. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Also, how many labs for digital arts are planned? We have 2 currently. And I was thinking that, yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can get you unmuted. Hang on just a second, because I just want to make sure.
I have the answers from that.
Go for it.
Well, who's the person, John?
No, it's Mr. McCracken, who's one of the art teachers.
Okay. Yeah. And he talked about the theater program. Yeah. What we're trying to do is when we talked about the, we're talking about art. Okay. Okay.
Art and digital art. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, digital art, we're going to have two studios inside the media center. We're definitely going to have that there. We're going to revamp and relocate those.
This is Clinton. If I could clarify the question, maybe that.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Okay.
We currently have 3 visual arts classrooms where drawing and painting is taught, and we also have 2 digital arts classrooms where they teach graphic design. It sounds like you're saying that there is a plan for 3 visual arts classrooms, which is good. But my question is, it sounds like you're planning to put one of those on the 2nd floor, which definitely there's no way to have an exterior classroom space. The reason why that's important, for example, if you're doing drawing of any kind and you need to spray fixative, it's like kind of like a hairspray. It's very,
Gotcha.
it's you can't spray that indoors. It's toxic, and so you have to be able to go outside. And if you just send your kids out there, they're not being supervised. So you would have to take the entire class outside to do that. That's why an exterior space is important. The digital art classrooms, that's where we would need, like, you know, computer labs. We currently have 2. I'm assuming you're still planning for 2. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're absolutely correct. We do have 2 digital arts and we have 3 visuals. And I understand your need and concern as an architect student. You know, we would go in the stairwells and spray mount stuff, which is not great to do. You know, so that's something we can look into. And you know, again, we haven't reviewed a lot of these things, and just knowing what you're just saying to me is very important. And if there's a trade-off we can, instead of locating it on the second floor, maybe we find a place on the first floor for it. So
And he did also suggest that the interior courtyard that you were saying is underutilized, could, have potential use, for visual arts. So just wanted to share that comment too.
yeah, I mean, the point of it is that, you know, you have theater tech, which will do spray paints to, like you're saying, spray fixatives and things like that. We are looking at providing them access by the stage, and then the location we provided for the art room upstairs is located directly across the center stair by the media center. So if you went down that stair, you're right there by the courtyard, also. So it's not, you're going out into the front yard or somewhere else unsupervised. So, but I do see your concern, and, just knowing this, we could look at alternative solutions.
Mr. Wright, go ahead.
Yeah, could there be like some type of outdoor arts classroom? That maybe it wouldn't be a classroom every day, but if an art teacher knew that, hey, we are going to do some outdoor spraying today, and, they could use that space. Or even I'm thinking like sculpture garden, and then the rich history of the school. Now currently in the media center, there's those display cabinets. So it's like a little quasi history museum, but is there a way that we could get something, more, I guess, more to emphasize, the history of this? It's our oldest school, I believe, that still's in use, and within Orange County Public Schools. It's our downtown, it is our performing and visual arts magnet school. And so, I've heard comments and questions about the track and about the facilities and all, but the emphasis of this art school really does need to be the arts. So like any kind of creative outdoor art spaces and classrooms, I think would be a benefit.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Mr. Wright, one of the things we talked about earlier on when I was running through this is that one of our goals was to look at this front lobby and turn this lobby almost into a history museum, to kind of express a lot of that stuff we have hidden in this little area right here in the media center, and to try to put these things on permanent display. And also having other areas when you enter this building. We are about to have a review and work with OCPS and try to create the corridors, try to create nodes and pods and areas for display. We are kind of taking inventory of all the great art that's on the walls. Where do we put the wings? Do we frame those wings? Do we put them somewhere? All the art you have, the Mona Lisa, what do we do with those things? So we are trying to create at a minimal, when you walk in here, when a visitor walks in, there is a main street here. And this is your main street of the school, where it kind of shows off some of your good work. And then there's going to be more display when you go into the theater. And, so we're going to pick points and nodes in this building and how we want to display. The other thing we like to do is colorful graphics or painting right here. So when at night, you can see through the building and see, some energy behind that. Like, wow, there's something exciting happening behind that facade.
And Dr. Castrodental, I think, wanted to add to this conversation.
Yes. I know that our time is just about up, so I just wanted to thank the team for putting this all together. I think this
I
shows
want us to go long, Dr. Castrodental. I did want to ask you that. Should you want to keep going?
you could go for 5 or 10 more minutes, I guess, to answer more questions. But I just wanted to just throw in my 2 cents. I appreciate the plans and the thought process so far, and I know it's complicated. I do appreciate the comments about safety, additional safety measures. The lighting of the field, I think, is something that we should look into. I know we have some different vendors that we've been using throughout the district that we could look into. And also, I think some of the questions that have been asked from the teachers have been very insightful. And I know that there is a plan to talk to the administration, but I also know they have a new administrator who may not know how the building is used as much as the teachers. So if I could just ask that they take another look at how the teachers use the building and bring them into the discussions a little bit more, I think we might be able to solve some of the other problems or and find some more creative uses as well. But if we could make sure that they have that opportunity to weigh in, not just through their admin, but directly, I think that would be fruitful. But that's all I wanted to add. I'll mute myself and let others ask some more questions. Thank you, Lauren.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. So I will try to like group the questions since we are starting to run real short on time. And I'm going to try to touch on stuff that hasn't been mentioned before. Is the teacher / employee parking lot next to the school going to stay and be the same size?
Yes.
Okay.
We're working on some drainage improvements, but yes, it's going to be the same. We don't know where else can we go.
Okay, there's a suggestion for fencing a small area outside the basement art room.
Yes.
To separate
Yes.
students. Okay. It's a question if we're going to be using a theater consultant for the Performing Arts Center.
Yes, we do. We have a fine one. Yes, we had a great meeting last week about it, and he is dialed in on this project.
Okay. Are we doing any landscaping design changes?
Of course, yeah. There's going to be some upgrading and refreshing around the whole campus.
Okay. In the theater, will there be a door to the back of the stage to transport large scenic items and large instruments easily?
I am proposing a door in the back of the stage.
Like a bay door?
A storage and a big door or overhead door. I have to look at the fire rating and all of these things, but if not, maybe double doors that are 4 foot wide or something like that, to really accommodate a piano, drums, roll of Marley or all these kind of things, and having a storage room near that directly behind it, so it has easy access to the stage.
Okay, and the orchestra teacher is saying that the second floor classrooms in the performing arts wing do not open. The windows do not open.
Mhm.
And she wanted to make sure the team is aware of that and whether new windows will address the needs for these south-facing rooms, which get very hot in the afternoon. Can we look at that?
Well, yeah, I think the only thing we can do there is look at a reglazing possibility, if we could do that. Maybe do some type of higher performance glazing or, shade structures to help, or tinting, help reduce the solar gain.
Okay, fantastic. I think we got through everything. I mean, I'm sure there are still some questions out there, so I'm going to give my email out and drop it into the chat also. If you have additional questions, you can send them my way if you'd like. And Dr. Castrodeno, can I give yours too? For questions or yes, okay. So mine, if there are questions, more specifically to this project, it's Lauren, LAUREN.Roth@OCPS.net, and board member Castor Dental is Karen, KAREN.Dental, DENTEL No. Okay, sorry.
Karen.Castor Dental at
Okay. It comes up differently in my email. I apologize. It takes out Castor for some reason when I send stuff to you. So it's Karen, KAREN.CASTORDENTEL@OCPS.net. Okay, I'm gonna put that in the chat correctly, so that nobody has to try to spell it off of me saying it incorrectly. So I am going to type that in right now. And as I mentioned, this has been recorded. And, feel free to send us any questions, but we will be back out to the community again. Really, these are some of the best questions I've heard at one of these community meetings in a long time. So I do just want to thank everyone for their thoughtfulness and, the way you asked the questions and how thoughtful they were. So thank you again. And we will make sure that everyone's invited to the next meeting, and we look forward to seeing the work begin. So again, thanks to Dr. Castrodeno and the team.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Lauren.